We're in conversation with Sikorsky, the makers of helicopters. Now, the industry estimates have given a figure of 1,100 helicopters to the tune of $25 billion US when it comes to India. Now, what is the kind of opportunity that exists in terms of demand for helicopters in the country?
You know, you've got a point here. The 1,100 helicopters and the $25 billion that you mentioned, that basically relates to the defense requirements. If you see, the country has the armed forces have arrived at a stage where they need to replace all their inventory, which has been in existence for the last 40 to 50 years. So the number what you quoted is the number that we also are looking at, and that's a huge potential and opportunity for Sikorsky to provide the solutions to the armed forces. And there are, requirements over a period of 20 years or 25 or 30 years. I think we should be able to address all the requirements, since we have all the solutions that can address the requirement of the armed forces, be it the Air Force, Navy, Army, Coast Guard, or the paramilitary. But it is a fact that there is a huge potential to the tune of about $25 to $27 billion in the defense alone.
So India is amongst the top countries in the world to spend on defense expenditure. In fact, 70% of this expenditure that India is spending is to procure defense equipment from abroad. But the government now is proactively looking at changing this figure around as well. So what is the kind of opportunity do you see in this space as a helicopter manufacturer?
Yes, that's a very valid point. India has been independent for almost 60 plus years.
Right.
We have always been dependent on others and importing the hardware and the other related equipment that the armed forces require. Time and the government has formulated the policies to bring our industry as self-reliant as far as the defense needs are concerned. So, to that extent, whichever program you take which has a value of more than 300 crores, okay, it carries an offsets obligation. In the offsets, the OEM, who is the manufacturer of the equipment and perhaps is the winner, has to reinvest 30 to 50% of the cost within the country. That means he brings the technology, you share the technology with the local industry, maybe the government entities or the private entities. Government has started to encourage the private entities. That's how we are with Tatas. So you will find over a period of time the policy formulation of being self-reliant as far as the defense is concerned would be taking off. Okay, it's a long drawn process, because in aviation especially, I'll restrict myself to aviation, you take a long road before you become self-reliant. But at least there is a beginning. We have a very good entity into the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Others are coming in. We have established ourselves as a local company. So there is a growth. India would perhaps in the times to come will be absolutely self-reliant and may even start exporting their own products. Sikorsky, having tied up with the Tatas, the cabins that are being manufactured in Hyderabad, that's for global supply. Today we have 27 cabins delivered by the Tatas to us, and those 27 machines are flying anywhere in the world, but not in India.
Right.
Because I haven't have a customer of the class and category of the helicopter that cabins are being built for. So you see, the India has now become an international player where it is providing the aviation-related big activities like airframes, okay? So
that's a magnanimous shift.
That's it's a tremendous shift from earlier, for everything, even a nut and bolt, you had to be dependent
on companies overseas.
The policies are very encouraging.